You know, in the world of global security, you've got soldiers and then you've got ghosts. We're talking about the unseen forces, the ones operating at the absolute tip of the spear. And they're called operators. But listen, that's not just some cool job title. It's a name that's earned, reserved for only the most elite, most brutally tested soldiers on the entire planet. These are the people who've gone through selection processes designed to break pretty much anyone. Yeah, these are the phantom soldiers, the ones you call for the impossible missions. Hostage rescue, counterterrorism, missions so sensitive that, officially, they don't even exist. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain just a little bit on two of the absolute best, America's legendary Delta Force and Germany's incredible KSK. What's so interesting is that while they often have the same job, how they get there, well, that's where the story gets really fascinating. All right, let's get into it. First thing you gotta understand is that units like these don't just pop up out of nowhere. They're not created in some peacetime planning session. No, they are born from failure. They're forged in the fire of a national crisis that shines a massive spotlight on a weakness and screams for a new kind of soldier. And this is a perfect example. Look at this. For Delta Force, it all started back in the 70s with the rise of international terrorism. The US realized they needed a dedicated team for it. But for Germany's KSK, it was something completely different. It was the absolute tragedy of the Rwandan genocide in '94 when they realized they had no way to rescue their own people. They had to rely on other countries. That was a serious wake-up call. And this quote, man, it just says it all. The German defense minister basically said, "It is a fundamental responsibility of any country to be able to rescue its own people." You can just feel the urgency, right? The sense of national embarrassment even. They had to create the KSK. Okay, so we know why they were created, but what do these guys actually do? You know, day in and day out. Or, let's be real, mostly night after night. Let's take a look. The job description for any of these guys is just brutal. Think about it. You've got to sneak into hostile territory by land, sea, or air, in any weather, carrying a crazy amount of gear. And then you have to perform missions where a split-second decision means life or death. It takes a crazy combination of raw physical strength and ice-cold mental focus. And when you look at their main jobs side by side, it's pretty clear. They're practically mirror images of each other. Hostage rescue? Check. Counterterrorism? Check. Snatching up high-value targets? Check. They are both the ultimate scalpels for their governments, two sides of the exact same elite coin. Okay. So their missions are the same, but getting the job? That's where you have to survive the crucible. And this is where their stories take a hard turn in completely different directions. This right here is the biggest difference between them. Think about it like this. Delta's philosophy is, let's find the best of the best that already exist. So they pull guys from the Rangers, from the Green Berets, hardened combat veterans. They're picking from a pool of champions. The KSK, on the other hand, has a totally different approach. They can take someone from any branch of the German military, or, and this is wild, they can take a civilian off the street and say, we are going to build you into a Tier 1 operator from scratch. That is a massive difference in thinking. So for Delta, selection is this legendary, super secretive, psychological meat grinder. I mean, they take these guys who are already studs, Rangers, Green Berets, and their whole goal is to just mentally and physically break them down. They want to see what's left when there's absolutely nothing left in the tank. And if you're one of the very few who actually pass that, you move on to the 6-month Operator Training Course, or OTC. Now, this isn't basic training. Not even close. It's more like a PhD program in violence. They take your already elite skills and sharpen them to a razor's edge. We're talking insane levels of marksmanship, advanced demolitions, even learning spycraft from intelligence agencies. It's a 6-month sprint. Now, let's look at the KSK, because it's a whole different animal. Just look at this number, 9 out of 350. That's from one actual KSK selection course. That's a washout rate of over 97%. It's just insane to even think about. And this is why. Remember Delta's 6-month finishing school? Well, the KSK pipeline is a 2 to 3 year marathon. Why so long? Because, like we said, they are literally building a special operator from the ground up. So over those 2 to 3 years, they teach them everything. I mean everything. Jungle survival, Arctic warfare, mountain climbing. And that's before they even get to the really specialized stuff like advanced medical training, parachuting, and of course, mastering the deadly dance of close-quarter battle. It's one of the most comprehensive training programs on the face of the earth, a total immersion. So you have these two totally different paths to the top of the pyramid. But here's the thing. These guys don't operate in a vacuum. They are a huge part of this global brotherhood of elites. I mean, check this out. The KSK was actually set up with help from the British SAS and from Delta Force. And today, they're always training together, doing personnel exchanges. They work with the best from all over the world. And that's not just for fun. It means when a real-world crisis goes down, an American operator and a German operator can work together like they've been on the same team their whole lives. And it all comes down to this, the KSK's motto, the will is decisive. And that just nails it, doesn't it? For any of these guys in any of these units. It's not about how strong you are or how well you shoot. It's about that unbreakable will, that thing inside you that refuses to quit long after your body has given up. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're cherry-picked from the best and polished for 6 months or built from the ground up over 3 long years. The secret ingredient is exactly the same. It's that internal fire, that decisive will. You can't teach it, you can't train it, you either have it or you don't. And that's what separates these phantom soldiers from everybody else. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What kind of person willingly signs up for that?